Alrighty, everyone. Good morning here on this happy Thursday here, February 22nd, 2024. Appreciate you guys for joining in here on the YouTube. As always, I'll post a video on TikTok as well once we're done with this. That way, my people from TikTok can come over here and watch. We got a lot of information to talk about today, guys. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather that just got added as of the 8 o'clock advisory this morning, the 8 o'clock SPC outlook. And this is going to be down here towards Memphis, Tennessee, east of Little Rock, Arkansas, and northern Mississippi. This is going to be a marginal risk of severe weather today for some small hail. So no tornado risk with this today. Maybe a little bit of some wind with some of these storms that do fire up this afternoon. We got a little low pressure system up here in the Ohio Valley that's going to skirt its way east with a cold front attached to it. Bring some heavy rain potentially here to western Kentucky into Tennessee later on this afternoon. We can actually look and see we've got some showers and some storms here into the southern part of Illinois and up here into central Illinois, into northern Indiana, storms up here into Ohio and PA. Most of this is just scattered rainfall. Like I said, the severe storms will be later on this afternoon. Like I said, small hail is going to be possible with this. Not really expecting too much in terms of, tornadoes or any of that. There's really not a tornado risk or a wind threat really today with this. Just going to be some small hail with any storms that do form. Let's time this out for you guys here. Let's see what we're looking at as far as the next couple of hours go here with our storm threat, and we can see not a lot going on this morning. It's really late afternoon here. A line of storms develops up here towards northern Arkansas and western Tennessee, and comes down here towards Memphis. You can see this little line here. This is going to be around 6-7 o'clock tonight. We'll be watching for some isolated hail. Some wind with this as well. This line will extend really all the way up here into central Kentucky, but this is really in Kentucky just going to be some heavy rainfall, torrential downpours possible, some thunderstorms with some lightning and thunder. Really not expecting any severe, maybe an isolated hail, maybe some wind in some areas here, but really not expecting a lot with this. And then up here into PA and up into New York, just isolated rain, so heavy rainfall at times. This will move into West Virginia as well. This cold front will actually push through the East Coast tonight and into tomorrow. We can actually see maybe for tomorrow's risk, we could maybe see some wind down here into Alabama and central Mississippi into the overnight hours. Heavy rainfall pushing through central Tennessee and eastern Tennessee, and then this will push through North Carolina, down here towards Georgia, South Carolina. We could maybe potentially see there are some model guidances maybe hinting at a small marginal risk of severe weather on the East Coast down here tomorrow. Maybe for some wind and some hail if these storms can get going with the daytime heating, but really not expecting much with this. Just some washout conditions here for your Thursday and Friday here on the East Coast. And then this storm system's out of here. This storm system this week is really not the one we're going to be talking about mostly of. It's going to be what's going to be happening next week. And we are looking more and more possible of seeing a severe weather outbreak next week, guys. I'm going to go ahead and go to the nothing on day 2 and nothing on day 3 as of right now, or day 4 or day 5. We're going to go to the day 6 National Weather Service SPC outlook. And you can see here we have a highlighted very, very pretty big, large, slight risk. This is a level 2 out of 5 right now on the severe weather criteria. This extends from Rockford, Illinois into Chicago, Davenport, Iowa, Bloomington, Illinois, Springfield into St. Louis, Missouri, down here into central Missouri. We've got Jefferson City, all the way down here into eastern Oklahoma, Tulsa. We got a little bit of northern Texas here in the Paris area. Getting into Little Rock, Arkansas, Hot Springs, Fayetteville, Rogers. So we've got a huge slight risk on Tuesday. And this, to me, Tuesday and Wednesday next week, guys, we've talked about this a lot as well, especially on TikTok and live streaming. This, to me, we could possibly get an enhanced risk of severe weather, maybe something along the lines of like this in Illinois, Missouri. And I'm going to talk about why in just a minute. There's some model guidance that's suggesting even stronger storms right now, potentially for our Tuesday night and into Wednesday. This is just a slight risk, so the marginal risk is actually going to extend probably something along the lines of this here, the area that I've got circled. That'll be a level 1 risk maybe that we see with this. Could see a marginal out to western Kentucky, down into Tennessee maybe. We'll see what the National Weather Service does with that whenever we get closer to that day 3 time frame. But I want to show you guys something here in just a minute once we get through Wednesdays as well. So we're expecting a all risk of severe weather as of right now with this tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. The tornado risk looks to be moderate right now with the winds that we're going to be seeing out of lower levels, instability, lapse rates, all of that are going to be up there as well. Temperatures are going to be in the 70s and 80s potentially here in this area, so that shouldn't be a question mark. Let's go to our day 7 outlook. This is for next Wednesday, and we can clearly see more populated areas here. We've got southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, Western and central and eastern Kentucky here, Missouri again, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. Very, very big area. And this is once again just a slight risk right now. So we could see that marginal risk extend away further out. We could see this shift around a lot. It will shift around a lot over the next couple of days. Not really seeing an enhanced risk right now. Potentially that could change if the models continue to show. I think Wednesday, from what I've seen on some of the model runs, is we're starting to see instability question mark. So we'll see what happens with this, if this just stays slight or if we get a marginal or where this moves around to. But conditions are definitely going to be favorable next week for severe weather with this new trough that we're going to see in the system that'll be coming through. What I want to show you guys as far as the model guidance, I've actually not shown this a lot really this year. I've really not shown it at all in general as far as this goes, but I finally found the model guidance comparisons from different other what are these called? They're just model comparisons from what SBC says to what like Colorado State University says and other places like that. So this is what the other model guidances are going to be showing here for next week. Let me pop this up here for you guys. Let's go to that day 3 to day 8 here. This is day 3's outlook, so clearly we're not seeing anything. Day 4, which is going to be on um, Monday, and then on Tuesday, or not Tuesday, that's on Sunday. On Monday, we could see maybe a marginal risk of severe weather. Potentially, the guidance on some of these models is showing a small end threat, maybe for Illinois and into down here into southern Missouri, central Missouri, maybe into Arkansas. So we'll see if this actually happens. A lot of the severe weather that was issued last night, the outlooks by the SPC, have actually put the risks that we saw with this model guidance yesterday into play. So we'll be seeing what this does then, and then we can clearly see on day 2. This has been updated since we looked at this yesterday. The brown represents the marginal risk, the yellow represents the slight, and the red here is starting to pop up more. That is an enhanced risk probability. It's a 30% chance there. So it's looking more and more possible that we're going to see that enhanced risk issued from central and northern Illinois down into Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. That slight risk would expand out a little bit. And then we get here onto Wednesday, and you can clearly see the yellow is the slight risk. We already have a slight risk that covers this area. You can see the model guidance actually showing pretty well relative to what we're seeing with SPC putting out. So we'll have to watch this very, very closely in terms of how this translates to the next couple of days, what we're going to start to look at as we get closer with the closer model run starting to kick in later on this weekend. On Monday, we'll have the HHR and the NAM start to kick in on Sunday. So we got a lot of different model guidance that'll be showing, where we're going to be potentially seeing this outlook really shifted towards. As far as that goes on that, I believe that's what I want to talk about with that. Let's go ahead and go to our model runs. Let's go ahead and start here with the 300 millibar jet stream here. This is what controls our highs, our lows, basically our weather patterns in the atmosphere. And as far as this goes through this week, our tiny little marginal risk of severe weather. Let me pull my pen up out here, guys. I never have this thing ready half the time when I get on these streams, so bear with me if y'all have been watching for a while. Y'all should know that I do this every time. As far as like I said, the severe weather for today goes, very, very limited threat down here into Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. So we'll be watching that for this afternoon. There we go. I finally got it fixed. As far as into the week goes, nothing much this weekend, really. And then here comes our trough this week. This is going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. So right here where this southwesterly flow is, this is the upper level winds pushing 100 to 150 knots. We can clearly see where that severe weather threat is going to translate at. It's going to be Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. We can see those upper level winds just ripping through across the Midwest and the western Ohio Valley here. And then we actually get our trough to develop and our low pressure system to develop here on Wednesday and Tuesday night and into Wednesday and Thursday. And this is really what's going to enhance that severe weather onto Wednesday. I think, like I said, we could get an enhanced risk maybe on Tuesday and Wednesday potentially. You can see the upper level winds here very, very strong above 150 here into Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky as well getting into this. So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely on Wednesday night and Thursday. So this is going to be more than likely a multi-day severe weather outbreak starting potentially could be Monday if we get something Monday, maybe a low end risk Monday all the way to Thursday. So kind of what we're seeing with the model runs with this. And then past that point on the GFS run here, not much going on. European is pretty much almost in sync with what we're going to see with the placement of this. We're still got some differences right now, but we'll talk about that later. As far as the low level jet goes here, this is the 850 millibar This is basically, like I said, our low level jet, where our rotation is in the lower levels of the atmosphere. And as we go through next Tuesday, there it is, placed right over that possible, that slight risk that we've got right now. Winds in the lower levels here out of the southwest of about 45, 50, 60 knots in some areas here. And then as the storm strengthens, on Tuesday and Wednesday, look at the yellows start to pop up here, those darker reds here over Kentucky and Tennessee. We could have a low level jet pushing hurricane force winds maybe on Wednesday afternoon as this storm system moves off to the east. That is what we are seeing on the GFS run. So really still got a little bit of time here to figure out what's going to be happening with the placement of this, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the Midwest and Ohio Valley and Southeast with this threat. And then past that point, not much going on. The only other issue here is, like I said, the instability, right? I think as we get closer to time, the models will start to, see this a little bit better here. We're still about 6 to 7 days out from this event happening next week. But as we go into Tuesday, there's that instability plume that starts to set up here over the Ozarks here into the Midwest, Ohio Valley here. We can clearly see where that instability is. It's very light instability, but this time of the year, you really only need 500 joules per kilogram to get severe weather. So we're going to probably have that in most areas, and then on top of that, more. So that's through Tuesday, and then here comes Wednesday, severe weather. Wednesday looks to be iffy right now. We'll talk about this and see if this changes or not with the next couple of model runs that come out, but the instability on Wednesday started to back off a little bit. So it's making Tuesday become more of our bigger severe weather threat potentially. This can change over time, but we can see the instability is still there. We'll see what the short range models do when we get closer to this event, and then that pushes off the coast, and then we're done with that. As far as the dew points go, right? Dew points is what we need. We need above 55. That is the magic number typically to have severe weather criteria with the dew points. We're going to see 60s in a lot of places. Here comes the dew points into next week. This is Monday. You can clearly see with that bowling ball trough that is going to be dipping down here. It will be pulling up moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, 60s up in Texas, up here into Louisiana. You can see those blues. Once you get into that blue category up here, that is the concern. That is where we really start to worry for that severe weather to be maximized at. So we can see upper 50s into the low 60s here in Illinois, Missouri, Indiana. This was in Kentucky. It should push into Kentucky here and into Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama on that day 3 with that Wednesday. Or not day 3, but that day 7. So we'll be watching that as well to see if this increases or changes throughout the next couple of days. But we're going to start to fine tune these forecasts a little bit better. As far as temperatures go as well, guys, temperatures next week are going to be pretty hot. We could see a lot of records broken potentially next week. We can see the heat surge all the way into next Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to have temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and 80s down here into Texas, 60s and 70s all the way up with this cold front pushing through. You can clearly see on Wednesday where the severe weather is going to be maximized at here to the Midwest, the northern Midwest, the Ohio Valley here, down here into the south as well. So we'll see what this does. It's going to be pretty interesting as far as the setup goes next week, guys. So we need to have everybody that's watching this on YouTube or TikTok, whoever gets to see this, make sure you guys have tornado preparedness plans, severe weather action plans, just in case this thing goes haywire. I have a little bit of a gut feeling that this is gonna be pretty interesting next week. So, and then past that point, temperatures go back to being average with a little bit of a cold air that comes in after this front comes through next week, and then we're back to average and above averages through March as of right now. So not a lot going on after this week or after next week comes through as of now. That'll change more than likely as always, but I will be doing YouTube updates every single day. I'll be doing TikTok updates every day. I'll be live streaming on TikTok. So if you guys watch on YouTube or you're new, go follow on TikTok, Mesomat on there. One other thing that I want to get to for you guys really quickly here before I end this video is the merch site. We have a website up. The merch site here, you guys can buy hats and hoodies and t-shirts. It is all on there. You can go to my mesomatwx.com. It is all on there. Fill out the form, order your shirts. We'll get them out there as quick as possible to you guys. We really want to see orders come in. That's another thing. I can't stress that enough to you guys. I think we might start doing like giveaways on live streams and stuff like that down the road if this starts to become more of a thing that people want to see. So we'll start to advertise this here just a little bit more as well. But other than that, guys, I appreciate y'all for watching here. We'll be live streaming later on this afternoon and this morning too, more than likely, and throughout the next couple of days as we get closer to this bigger severe weather event. But other than that, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow.